Day 19, Genesis 45 and 46, and then Matthew 13 to the end. Subtitle: Joseph reveals his identity and God's plan. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you!" So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loudly the Egyptians could hear him, and the word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that was standing there in front of them. "Please come closer," he said to them. So they came closer, and he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace, and the governor of all Egypt. Now hurry back to my father and tell him, this is what your son Joseph says. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt. So come down to me immediately. You can live in the region of Goshen, where you can be near me with all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds, and everything you own. I will take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise, you, your household, and all your animals will starve." Then Joseph added, "Look, you can see for yourself, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I really am Joseph. Go tell my father of my honored position here in Egypt. Describe for him everything you have seen, and then bring my father here quickly." Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin did the same. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers and wept over them. And after that, they began talking freely with him. Subtitle: Pharaoh invites Jacob to Egypt. The news soon reached Pharaoh's palace. Joseph's brothers arrived. Pharaoh and his officials were all delighted to hear this. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers, this is what you must do. Load your pack animals and hurry back to the land of Canaan. Then get your father and all of your families and return here to me. I will give you the very best land in Egypt, and you will eat from the best that the land produces." Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers, take wagons from the land of Egypt to carry your little children and your wives and bring your father here. Don't worry about your personal belongings, for the best of the land of Egypt is yours." So the sons of Jacob did as they were told. Joseph provided them with wagons, as Pharaoh had commanded, and he gave them supplies for the journey, and he gave each of them new clothes. But to Benjamin he gave 5 changes of clothes and 300 pieces of silver. He also sent his father 10 male donkeys loaded with the finest products of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain and bread and other supplies he would need on his journey. So Joseph sent his brothers off, and as they left, he called after them, "Don't quarrel about all this along the way." And they left Egypt and returned to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. "Joseph is still alive," he told him. "He is governor of all the land of Egypt." Jacob was stunned at the news. He couldn't believe it. But when they repeated that Jacob when they repeated to Jacob everything Joseph had told him, and when he saw the wagons Joseph had sent to carry him, their father's spirits revived. Then Jacob exclaimed, "It must be true. My son Joseph is alive. I must go and see him before I die." Subtitle: Jacob and his family moved to Egypt. So Jacob set out for Egypt with all his possessions, and when he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. During the night, God spoke to him in a vision. Jacob, Jacob, he called. Here I am, Jacob replied. I am God, the God of your father. The voice said, do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make your family into a great nation. I will go with you down to Egypt, and I will bring you back again. You will die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you to close your eyes. So Jacob left Beersheba, and his sons took him to Egypt. They carried him and their little ones and their wives in the wagons Pharaoh had provided for them. They also took all their livestock and all their personal belongings they had acquired in the land of Canaan. So Jacob and his entire family went to Egypt, sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, all his descendants. These are the names of the descendants of Israel, the sons of Jacob, who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's oldest son. The sons of Reuben were Anu, Palu, Hasson, and Kami. The sons of Simeon were Jumilio, Jamin, Ohad, Jachan, Zohar, and Shul. Shul's mother was a Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Gahath, and Meriah. The sons of Judah were Er, Onah, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah, though Er and Onah had died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamil. The sons of Ishua were Tola and Paru, Shubah, Shimon. The sons of Zebulun were Sezon, Elion, and Jahi. These were the sons of Lelah and Jacob, who were born in Panorama, in addition to their daughter Dinah. The number of Jacob's descendants, male and female, through Leah was 33. The sons of Gad and Zivlah, Haggai, Shunaz, Esbon, Ari, Ariola, Arili. The sons of Asher were Anna, Eshvi, and Beriah, and their sisters was Sarah. Beriah's sons were Heber and Malchiah. These were the sons of Ziphiah, the servant given to Leah by her father Laban. The number of Jacob's descendants through Ziphiah was 16. The sons of Jacob's wife Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph's sons, born in the land of Egypt, were Manasseh and Ephraim. Their mother was Innocent, daughter of Potiphar, the priest of On. Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, Bashabu, Gira, Nami, Ira, Rosh, Mufi, Hafu, Hufim, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel and Jacob. The number of Jacob's descendants through Rachel was 14. The sons of Dan and was Ishmael. The sons of Naphtali were Jasil, Guni, Jisu, and Shalim. These were the sons of Bilhah, the servant given to Rachel by her father Laban. The number of Jacob's descendants through Balaam was 11. Balaam was 7. The total number of Jacob's direct descendants who went with him to Egypt, not counting his sons' wives, was 66. In addition, Joseph has 2 sons who were born in Egypt. So altogether there were 70 members of Jacob's family in the land of Egypt. Subtitle: Jacob's family arrives in Goshen. As they neared their destination, Jacob sent Judah ahead to meet Joseph and get directions to the region of Goshen. And when they finally arrived there, Joseph prepared his chariot and traveled to Goshen to meet his father Jacob. When Joseph arrived, he embraced his father and wept, holding him for a long time. Finally Jacob said to Joseph, now I am ready to die, since I have seen your face again and know you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's entire family, I will go into Pharaoh and tell him, my brothers and my father's entire family have come to me from the land of Canaan. These men are shepherds and they raise livestock. They have brought with them their flocks and herds and everything they own. And then he said, when Pharaoh calls for you and asks you about your occupation, you must tell him, we, your servants, have raised livestock all our lives, as our ancestors have always done. When you tell him this, he will let you live here in the region of Goshen, for the Egyptians despise shepherds. Okay, Matthew chapter 13:44 to 58. Subtitle: Parable of the Hidden Treasure. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure that a man discovered hidden in a field. In his excitement, he hid it again and sold everything he owned to get enough money to buy the field. Subtitle: Parables of the Pearl. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for choice pearls. When he discovered a pearl of great value, he sold everything he owned and bought it. Subtitle: Parable of the Fishing Net. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a fishing net that was thrown into the water and caught fish of every kind. When the net was full, they dragged it up onto the shore, sat down, and sorted the good fish into crates, but threw the bad ones away. That is the way it will be at the end of the world. The angels will come and separate the wicked people from the righteous, throwing the wicked into the fiery furnace where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Do you understand all these things? Yes, they said, we do. Subtitle: Teachers of Religious Law in the Kingdom. Then he added, every teacher of religious law who becomes a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like a home owner who brings from his storeroom new gems of truth as well as old. Subtitle: Narrative. Jesus leads the disciples to confession. Jesus rejected at Nazareth. When Jesus had finished telling these stories and illustrations, he left that part of the country. He returned to Nazareth, his hometown. There, when he taught there in the synagogue, everyone was amazed and said, "Where does he get this wisdom and the miracle? Where does he get this wisdom? Yeah, where does he, where does he get this wisdom? Where does he get this wisdom and power to the miracles?" To do miracles. Then they scoff. He's just a carpenter's son, and we know Mary, his mother, and his brothers James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas. All his sisters live right here among us. Where did he learn all these things? And they were deeply offended and refused to believe in him. Then Jesus told them, a prophet is honored everywhere except in his own hometown and among his own family. And so he did only a few miracles there because of their unbelief. Amen. That concludes day 19th. Day 19th of the Bible reading, cover to cover. Day 19th is done. It's done. The deed is done.